In the NBA, some players develop into All-Stars or even All-NBA players within their first 2 seasons. However, growth isn't linear, and others can take even longer to reach their potential stardom. This is the case for 21-year-old Jonathan Kuminga, a hyper-athletic wing drafted out of G League Ignite, who has been in the news as of late. He's only in year 3 of his career, but the discourse surrounding him ranges greatly, with many people actually advocating for him to be dealt by the deadline in order to get a piece or pieces that can help turn around the Warriors season and help Steph Curry better contend. However, I think this would be a major mistake by the Warriors front office to deal him, as he's shown just how great of a player he can actually be as of late when given the opportunity. In this video, we'll detail the uneasy situation the Warriors found themselves in with Kuminga, how well he's been playing since he's received an increase in minutes, and why he ultimately should be a nearly untradeable piece for this Warriors team. Before we begin, be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Being drafted into a contending team was never going to be an easy situation for Jonathan Kuminga. Of course, he would have the tutelage of NBA champions like Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, and would be under the umbrella of a first-class organization, but this also meant that his playing time was going to be an issue. Of course, there are exceptions where rookies do feature greatly on competitive squads, but for more raw prospects, coaches elect to ride with their vets to win games, just as the Warriors did for much of the 2022 season when they won the NBA title. Big picture, with less playing time, it's harder for players to develop at the highest level, and Kuminga for sure did get the short end of the stick in 2023 due to mismanagement by Steve Kerr. Last season, Kerr was playing Anthony Lamb of all players above Kuminga and Moses Moody, a player who's inferior to both of these guys even in that moment, and a player who shouldn't even have been on the roster for off-the-court reasons that I will not discuss in this video. Because of this, both Kuminga and Moody received reduced minutes or were completely inactives in games, and Kerr's favoritism of the veterans also led to further frustrations. When it comes to Kerr's favoritism, there are no 2 better examples than 2 inexplicable losses on this season: the collapse at home against the Denver Nuggets and the in-season tournament game against the Sacramento Kings. In a nationally televised game where the Warriors led by 18 points at home against the defending champion Nuggets, Jonathan Kuminga was sensational in the start of that game, scoring 16 points in 18 minutes, making 5 of 7 field goals, and making 6 of his 7 free throw attempts. However, Kuminga inexplicably never saw the floor again, as he saw Andrew Wiggins, who I might add didn't start in that game and was a minus 14 on the floor, play over him down the stretch in what was eventually a crushing defeat. The second egregious example of Kerr's favoritism actually has to do with Moses Moody, but this still illustrates the uphill battle that Kuminga had to go through, which eventually led to the report by Shams Charania. In an in-season tournament game where the Warriors led by 24 points and only need to win by 12 points to advance, Steve Kerr took out a hot Moses Moody in the 4th quarter in order to bring back Andrew Wiggins and close out the game with he, Steph, Klay, Dre, and Looney. Moody up until that point went 3 for 3 from 3 in the 4th quarter and was 4 for 4 in that 4th quarter, but he was taken out so that Kerr could play his veteran lineup, which ultimately lost them the game. Those aforementioned 5 went 2 for 17 from the field in the 4th quarter, and Kerr was left with the question as to why Moody was benched. Jonathan Kuminga is far from the perfect player, and the jump shot isn't exactly where he'd hoped it to be in year 3. But I do understand his frustrations given the lack of opportunities that he's gotten because of Coach Kerr. And if we look at the big picture, Kuminga has star written all over him and should be given the opportunity. He has a very quick first step and is one of the most explosive players in the league in both the half-court and transition. He runs the floor extremely well and is great at filling in lanes. He's shown an ability to take defenders off the dribble and finish. He shot a great 71% at the rim this season, and he's demonstrated his off-ball utility by being able to slip screens and cut to the rim. He's also shown an ability to take on a variety of defensive assignments and fare well with them, and he's even playing some of his best ball right now. Literally the game after the Shams report leaked, Kuminga played the most minutes he played all season at 35 in a win against the Detroit Pistons, in a game where he shot 4 for 8 from the field, shot 3 for 3 from the free throw line, and was a plus 16 on the floor. Matter of fact, since the Shams report, Kerr has granted Kuminga more minutes and more freedom on the floor, which has instilled a confidence in him to be the player he knows he can be. Over his last 7 games, Kuminga has averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists on 60% from the field, 42% from 3-on-3 attempts a game, and 81% from the free throw line on 3.5 attempts a game. One of his best performances in that stretch was easily against the Chicago Bulls, posting up 24 points and 5 rebounds on the road in a win. He ran the floor well and was able to execute in transition, was dangerous off the catch, and the Warriors actually ran some post-up plays for him, with him finishing through contact for an and-one opportunity. Moreover, the most impressive thing for me about this game was his ability as a floor spacer, going 4 for 4 from 3 and hitting the catch-and-shoot opportunities that his teammates created for him. Kuminga followed this performance up with a 28-point performance in Milwaukee, where he went 10 for 18 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, and got to the line and hit all 6 free throws. He showed his ability to take defenders off the dribble a number of times in that game and finish at the goal. Again, his ability to operate well in transition, he made the right passes, and overall showed an ability to be a huge contributor in the Warriors' offense. Additionally, against the Atlanta Hawks, Kuminga literally had the perfect game, recording 25 points, 9 rebounds on 11 for 11 shooting, and being the only player in the 21st century to record at least 25 points, 5 or more rebounds, 2 or more steals, and 2 or more blocks in a game, while shooting 100% from the field. Overall, Jonathan Kuminga is a young, valuable piece that can help the Warriors now and in the near future. So why would they want to trade him? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know that the Warriors season hasn't gone to plan. Statistically, Andrew Wiggins is having the worst season of his NBA career, Klay Thompson looks like a shell of himself, and with the team not even being in the play-in tournament at this moment, the next plausible step is to deal the limited assets that this team has in order to help turn around the season. However, I failed to see any great Jonathan Kuminga trades for the Warriors before this NBA trade deadline. It makes literally 0 sense to deal Jonathan Kuminga in a deal for Zach LaVine, where you'd have to take on LaVine's contract for the next few seasons, and there's no Jonathan Kuminga trade in general where the Warriors can get 1 or 2 key pieces that could single-handedly save their season. Kuminga is showing just how great of a player he can be when given the opportunity. He's only 21 years of age, and he can be a very key contributor in the immediate future. The Warriors should keep this wing, and dealing him, at least in my opinion, would be a huge mistake. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on Jonathan Kuminga and whether you feel the Golden State Warriors should trade him. Also, let me know just how good you feel he can be at his peak. Be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay